Mark just here, and today I will show you a game between Vesel and Topalov and Garry Kasparov. As today is the rest day in the World Chess Championships, I watched Kaufman's analysis, and he actually said that Ian is not doing that bad in the openings with white pieces. I thought that he will say that, well, he's not finding these good variations, but he pointed out that his preparation is pretty strong. He could have the variation is right. Maybe he misses some stronger continuation and or at some point when he's near to advantage, something happens and he exchanged the pieces. So it's not like totally due to not being able to meet Carlsen's home preparation. It more kind of not being able to find continuation, the only continuation in very good position. Not very good, but just opening wise, it's normal. It's not like he's losing. So he said that also Kaufman said that possibly we will see something interesting. He's not saying that Magnus is there's going to be a tiebreak. He just says that maybe Ian is not that good. So my personal opinion of Game 8 when Ian lost is that he didn't have basically clear plan for the game, I think. So this h5 move and things King f8 later. h5 was said that it's a good move, but King f8 is maybe not the best decision, but that's why I'm thinking that his plan was, too ambitious. He wanted a draw. He played a drawish variation and then tried to imagine things. So I don't know. So this is game between Topalov and Kasparov, and this is Garry's last game when he was already winning the Linares. Linares back then was the I think the most prestigious commercial tournament, and eventually it is discontinued. And after Grand Chess Tour takeover, so all chess events, private chess events, are Grand Chess Tour, and only they host this round robins, except for the candidates. That's why it's so important, where these best players play a round robin tournament, and the others are just a bit different format. So I was thinking that the commentator normally he knows the result, like same as in the Nepos game, and it's like a bridge back then to this game, that when you know the result, you start and saying, well, Nepo made this mistake and he played this and he's a bad player, and Magnus won, that's why he's like the best chess player in the world. It is partly true, but they at some point they're both playing very good, and I think Magnus was also talking about it in the press conference, that you guys just so result oriented, but it all depends on one move, on one decision, and well, it always turns into Magnus's favor because he's very strong, but at that point this result thinking is not maybe the best thing in the world in chess, that you just following the best players, and you don't understand them, and weaker like FIDE masters which can really explain you what chess is all about to get better. So you will learn from like Garry or Aronian, and you have no idea what they're doing at the chessboard. And yeah, when we see that one player is winning, we start saying, well, he's very strong and other player is not that strong. Didn't play a good game, but I mean, in this game, Garry was playing really well. He just lost. Okay, so let's see this game. E4, and Veselin played the reopening. I think he's more a d4 player, but you might disagree with me. Knight f3, knight c6. So Garry is, you know, a Najdorf player with d6, but this time he played something different. And Topa played a knight to c3, which is interesting, but not the strongest, I believe, because black has so many options here, and I think now g6 is very popular because it gives the Sicilian and dragon with knight on c3, and c4 is not already available for white. e5 played by Garry. I think in his style he wasn't playing Sicilians with he tried to make it really complicated, like Korchnoi style, and he had these small ideas, small variations for everybody, and so it could make just, I think for one game he had a lot of these games where he hadn't been repeating himself, like in World Chess Championship matches. Bishop c4, d3. So white is basically playing the Italian game, very similar, and black has this pawn on c5 and bishop on e7. Bishop e7, castles, knight to f6. Garry is not playing bishop to g4, which I would play, because knight d5, and I think he decided that okay, let's play knight to d4, c3, knight f3, takes, bishop h5, d4. Yeah, so this is the position, and white is ahead in development. They open up the center, and black has to make a lot of moves to play the castling move. So knight f6 and knight to h4, aiming for f5. d4, g3. Move I really so probably just defending this knight on h4 if black plays something like knight to d7, and Garry played bishop to g4. I like this move with the idea to weaken this king side. I remember excellent game by Magnus Carlsen against Hikaru in Moscow, Tal Memorial 2012 probably, and Magnus just brilliantly won it. I think I made a video on this. It was this bishop g4 played by Hikaru in Sveshnikov Sicilian, and he also weakened this pawns, but Magnus won nevertheless, so very good game. Bishop g5, not really a big fan of this move. Engine agrees with me, like a4 is shows that it's better. I just don't want to exchange the pieces which are clumped up. And Garry is the same idea, yeah. And like commentator gives him a exclamation mark, but I don't know. It looks one of the best moves. You can quite easy, I think. So he exchanged the dark square bishops, f4, takes, and the rook f4. So I think Garry basically outplay his opponent at that point, because this is, I mean, this looks awkward. Yeah, this knight here doesn't do a lot. you get this rook on f4, and the only thing that white cannot castle queenside, but kingside, but black can easily castle queenside, I'm sorry, by playing like queen b6, for instance, yeah. And but Garry played showed a little bit of showmanship, I think. Played knight to d7, the move which recently was played by Mr. Firuja. Just removing the king from the center and connecting rooks. Yeah. So in this position, I would say that white controls the f file, and they will playing like queen g4 and everything else and attack. And now just black takes over the f file. Knight f3, rook f8, the move I would not consider, but it's the best line. It's so hard to imagine that this rook here is well placed, because you can win so many tempi with knight g6 or trying to like pin it somehow, but Garry just attacks it and exchanges it and wins this line. Takes knight d2, queen f6. So now black is better. Engine says that white is okay. I think I would be really worried. And Topa didn't play like queen f1, which I would play. Played c3, like it's normal. Rook f8. Now black threatens queen f2, knight d4, and knight c6. So this was, I think, small inaccuracy. Queen c2 was, queen f2 was, I think, a safer move, but knight c6. And yeah, so this was a mistake. Knight e5 was a move with tempo, attacking this d3 and like gaining. So d1, g4, here, then takes and knight h2. So basically, Engine says that these two pieces, they create a strong counterattack. So they exchanged everything, and this endgame it turned out to be very famous, and at some point white should be winning. Yeah, they have this extra center pawn, but these pawns are really good anyway. They give a lot of space, and you can play d5, and if you play, let's say, e5, then you can play d4. Yeah, but and kind of get some extra pawn here. Engine suggests like keeping the king on the e7, but Garry like played d5, which is really understandable, that he wants to fix the pawns on this d file. So you don't want to take. They play the king up, h5, and g6 was a kind of mistake. Engine shows that it's plus 1.5. It's narrowly, but it's not winning. Yeah, and when I tried to win it with white, I didn't succeed because black is defending perfectly, and there is no clear way to win. Like h6, and it's a tempo move. I won't try to explain it. I'm just saying that if black is very careful, h6. So what is the line here? h5. So this is winning. Okay, so I'm just saying that if you have the center pawns, yeah, you have to keep their position basically. So what happened in the game? G6, Garry made a mistake. Yeah, and in this position, black resigned. Yeah, so you have to play something like this. Doesn't help a lot, so I will play this. G7, H5. If you play G5, then I'm winning this way. Yeah, king is breaking through. All right. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.